Steve Kerr and his team down 2-1 to the Los Angeles Lakers after a 30-point loss in Game 3.
Steve, what do you think happened offensively with you guys in the second and third quarters? It just didn't seem like there was a lot of spacing. Did you think things were going well, or was the shots just not going out? What did you think went on there?
We had a lot of turnovers in the second quarter. When we lost that lead, I think we were up 11. We started turning it over and then taking quick shots, and that fed into their transition and their ability to get to the foul line. So I thought that's when the game changed.
They mentioned after Game 6 of the last series that didn't like the energy of it. Did you like to see the energy in this game?
No, I mean that point from in the mid-second quarter, you know, we had control of the game. We were in pretty good shape, and that's when we lost our poise. I think we might have had 4 technicals in the first half, and 12 turnovers at halftime. So you know you're on the road. You're going against a great team, a great defensive team in particular, and the crowd is going to be into it. Got to be more poised than we were.
What makes it difficult sometimes to regain that poise? Because there have been times throughout the seasons, really, you guys will go down, but muster up enough to get back into it. So why was it harder to regain the poise tonight?
Well, you know, the tough environment. I mean, you're on the road in a playoff game. It's easier in the regular season to respond to a tough stretch. Everything is magnified in the playoffs, and a bad stretch can turn into a longer stretch. Against a team like the Lakers that has been playing well and is very good defensively, and obviously has some great players. So we kind of, I thought, let our foot off the gas, and Lakers took advantage of it, and they were great. You know, they dominated the game.
They put Reeves on Steph. Did that kind of scramble things at all, or was it just a tough shooting and turnover night for Steph generally?
Just a tough night for everybody, really. I mean, we had 25 assists and 19 turnovers. Those aren't good numbers for us. Those 19 turnovers turned into 27 points. They shot 20 more free throws than we did. So you put all those numbers together. This was a Laker game. Dominating from the foul line and getting out in transition based on us not having good offensive possession, so they controlled it.
Clay specifically, I think, had 6 turnovers. Did you think he was rushing things? Did you think?
Yeah, I thought all of our guys were in a little bit of a rush. They're trying hard to make plays, and we just got out of sorts, out of rhythm.
Steve, what was the locker room like after the game? Is this one of those where everyone just kind of gives each other space, or was there a message from someone involved, and what was it?
Nope, just everybody's obviously down, and we just lost by 30 in a playoff game, so nobody's happy.
Steve, are you worried that some of the same pitfalls from Game 1 popped up in Game 3 again after you just saw them, after you just made the adjustments? Do you want to see if you can equalize the seesaw between games?
I'm very confident in our team and our ability to bounce back.
Steve, what was the perspective you had on the 2 challenge calls on Draymond? The one, the first one that the Lakers had, and then the one that you guys had.
I didn't see any replays of either. So, I rely on the guys behind our bench and to determine whether we should challenge. And, there's a lot that goes into that. But given that when we challenged, I think it was Draymond's 4th foul, if I'm not mistaken. Block charges are tough to get overturned generally. Ours didn't get overturned, unfortunately, but theirs did.
Threes in the first 2 games. They shot 29% from long range in this one, made just 13. Here's Darvin Ham on his team's adjustments for Game 3.
It was 38 combined in the second and third. Just wondered what you saw defensively, what adjustments you guys made, and how that played out.
We just wanted to keep a body in front of Draymond first and foremost. And I think after that first quarter, guys just really turned it up. They dialed it up with their competitiveness. And just the communication was great. You know, us being aware of who was on the floor for them, who's coming out, what combination of players are out there, which kind of dictated, you know, some of our coverages. And we were able to switch up our pitches. And but just the competitive edge, that's something we talked about between game 2 and this game tonight was just, you know, we could talk coverages, adjustments, and all of that, but the basic foundation of us executing anything is our approach, our energy, our effort, our urgency. You can audible, you can come out with coverages all you want, but if you don't put anything into them, then nothing is going to work. So us just come, and then sometimes you're not going to get it right. It's not going to be perfect, but if you have a ton of energy, you're competitive, you're competing as a group, individually to a man and as a group, things will usually work themselves out. So I just think our guys were just really, really awesome tonight in terms of their competitiveness and doing the little things, covering for one another, getting the ball, pushing it with pace, just playing a really physical, downhill, forceful game. And we were fortunate to come out with the win.
Coach, I know you felt very confident about winning the game tonight, but are you kind of surprised at how, from a scoring standpoint, how lopsided it was?
I mean, things happen. You know, we tried to force them into some difficult situations, and, you know, we look up, the game gets out of hand a little bit, but, you know, make no mistake about it, the deficit and us winning by whatever, 30 doesn't represent who that team really is. Just like us losing the way we did in game 2 doesn't represent who we are. This is going to be a battle to the end, man. It's you know, you can't rest on your laurels. That's a hell of a team. They're a defending champion. They're defending champions for a reason. And, you know, we're thankful to get this one. But, you know, come Monday, we know we're going to have a dogfight on our hands. So, and rightfully so. It's that time of the year, and that's what this is built for.
Darvin, for the third time this postseason, I'm over to you, right? D'Lo had like a flurry of scoring, and now you've won 2 of those 3 games. What type of asset is it to have that, that, you know, he can kind of go off at any moment, and how does that help your squad?
I think it helps, you know, one of the things we talked about in trying to, you know, be successful against the Warriors, it's not just trying to stop them from making threes and getting them off the three-point line. You also have to keep the scoreboard moving on your own behalf. And so D'Lo is the type of player, he's going to come in, and if he sees us struggling a little bit, he's able to make plays with the ball in his hand. He's able to make plays receiving the ball on the second side or third side action. He's a great catch and shoot player. So, and, you know, he just locked in and saw a couple go in early and just stayed aggressive. And whenever he's decisive and aggressive, you know, he's off the charts. And, you know, obviously with all the attention that's being paid to Bron and AD, I mean, it's him, Austin, you know, there are going to be opportunities for those guys, Vando as well, to be aggressive and assertive on offense. And so that's what you saw early. I think he had, our first 11 points or something like that. And, you know, he felt it. He gets into a rhythm, like the kid can flat out score as well as play make. So it was great. It was great to see.
Darvin, what did you think of LeBron's complete game from not scoring to running into the stands to blocking shots to 360 scores in the lane, doing everything for you guys?
That's just who he has to be. That's who he's been and who he has to be this time of the year. That's why he's a champion. The little things. And we had some unfortunate plays also, like some 50-50 balls we didn't come up with, some long rebound tap outs that they were able to get, mishandling the ball sometimes during certain possessions. But, you know, the squad, our team, we did a great job of just having a next play mentality. You know, obviously a little irritated about not coming up with making certain plays, but just the next play mentality. And I think that's what you saw with him. And again, him putting that effort into doing the little things. And you see a guy like that in year 20, you know, obviously first ballot Hall of Famer, you know, top 5 dead or alive ever to play in the NBA. And to see him doing the little things like that, just a screen and him pushing the pace, him finding teammates, him defending, rebounding, it makes it easier to get these other guys to do it.
Yeah, Darvin, when you talk about your defense and the way you guys operate, is it possible to overestimate just how important AD is to that effort?
I mean, he's the catalyst. He's the anchor, man. His activity, when he's blocking shots, changing shots, it's amazing. And, he's locked in to the T. And, really communicating with the coaches, coverages, again, being aware of who's on the court, who's in the game for them, what are we doing, how are we guarding this action, how are we guarding that action, and just his awareness. The ball gets driven, we don't want to just take away the three line. They're going to make their fair share of threes. But what we can't do is give up the easy bunnies at the rim in the paint. And he's done a phenomenal job just whenever he's out there, not just against this team, but just overall, just the way he commands the paint defensively. And he's able to step up, switch out on the perimeter, and just force guys into awkward positions and tough shots. And so he's definitely, he sets the tone for us defensively.
Darvin, how much of LeBron not scoring in the first quarter and a half is him just looking for AD, trying to get him going, and then D'Lo obviously had to go in early? How much of it is him just kind of orchestrating how you guys need to play offensively?
I think it's just a case of allowing the game to come to him, allowing a natural rhythm to happen and not forcing things. And then, D'Lo came out blazing hot. AD had some moments. Everybody, he's not going to be that guy that's going to be selfish and force his way. Once he gets it going, that's another story, and that's how he should approach it once he's reeling off basket after basket. But to set the tone for us offensively, he's great about allowing other guys to play, allowing other guys to have their moments, which in turn creates balance for our entire lineup and our scoring output. So that's just him. That's the way he's always played, just trying to make the right play.
Darvin, over your right, can you kind of quantify, with the big lead, how valuable that could be to get LeBron and AD off their feet in the fourth quarter?
It's huge. It's huge, and I'm sure they probably had the same thought process on their side with a couple of their guys. But it's huge. Whenever you can, bottle up some energy and save it for save that output for another day, like in our case for Monday. You have to take advantage of it, and it's great to have that luxury. They don't come too often. And so for those guys to be in the low 30s, and we had the game under control by the time we were going into the fourth quarter, it's a great bonus for us.
Darvin, obviously winning games 3 and 4 here in the Memphis series was big for you guys in that series. Going into game 4 this time, you spoke about the defensive approach. How confident are you, given that you guys were able to do that once before, that you guys will be able to, give that kind of same defensive effort on a back-to-back game?
Well, that's what we can control. We can't control whether shots go in or not. We can try to put ourselves in a position to get open shots, but even still, sometimes the ball doesn't go in the basket as often as you would like. But defense, our effort, our energy, our competitiveness on that side of the ball, that's something you can damn near get right every night. And it's something that we have to do against this team. You relax 1 second or you start feeling comfortable or complacent, and, they're going to burn you every time. And so we have to definitely stay on our toes. We'll get in the lab again tomorrow, see what we can get better at, see what we need to sustain, and come out of it prepared to take that next step into game 4. Each game is its own entity, and you have to prepare as such. They don't lap over. Like, each game is different. We lose by 27 up there. They lose by 30, and now game 4 it's going to be a good one.
Coach, congrats on the win. You spoke about D'Lo's hot start in this game and LeBron not scoring the first quarter and a half, but his defensive effort early in the game when things were a little bit more tight, how important was that in this win?
We need all of our guys to do that, not just LeBron. But, again, him doing the little things, him giving those extra efforts, it sets a tone for our ball club. Him being, one of the leaders, him and AD, when they see those guys diving on the floor, chase down blocks, trying to get loose balls, trying to save the ball in bounds after, getting tough rebounds. it just sets the type of tone for who we want to be, what our identity should be, and that's a defensive-first ball club. Again, we got enough points in that locker room to score. We have to make our mark defensively, night in and night out.
Darvin, y'all were down 11 in that first half. Like, I know we talking about LeBron waiting to establish himself and deferring a little bit, but at what point in that second quarter, whether y'all was down or during the turnaround, did you feel like that was when your team clicked and you felt like everything was going to be fine from there?
I mean, just us getting into a rhythm and the ball moving and bodies moving, us setting screens, giving a physical presence and rolling and playing downhill. I think we had, 21 free throws at halftime, and that's a sign for us when we're playing the right way offensively. We're playing physical. And then defensively, the guys locking in and activity. Even times where we were in a certain coverage and it didn't call for a switch or we weren't supposed to be switching, we switched just based on necessity, someone getting screened or falling down, just our ability, just in a blink of an eye to cover for one another, teammates covering for one another. It was great. And then when you see that type of energy and intensity defensively, and then you, in turn, offensively, you see that physicality, you see us playing downhill, you see guys making that extra pass, playing the right way, it gives you a sense of, things are going to be okay. And again, but that said, even you're not comfortable against the Warriors until there's no more time on the clock. I'm sitting there, we're up a bunch, and I'm just expecting them to run off 8, 9 threes in like a minute and a half or something like that crazy. It's just a constant paranoia and respect of who they are, who they've been, what they're capable of. And again, we have to keep just stacking great possessions defensively, game by game, time by time. So hopefully, we'll see some good stuff from this game, but we'll definitely, I know, see some stuff that we can still get better at and come out and try to put our best